Welcome to another episode of the Weekly Podcast. My guest with me tonight is two dudes I went to middle school with. One is the assistant coach for John Curtis High School, and the other one is the wide receiver coach for Edna Carr, school I was supposed to go to, but the hurricane stopped that. But Omar, tell people about yourself.
My name is Omar Robinson. I'm the wide receiver coach at Edna Carr. This was the end of my 8th year on the staff. Just won another state championship. That's number 3 for me. I lost one. I lost the state championship in 2020. 2020 when we lost to Karen Crow. But this was a different year for us. Because you asked how was winning the state championship earlier.
Yeah.
It was good to get that. This whole year we had been preaching reclaiming and things like that, and we were able to do that in all aspects of the program. And it was different this state championship than the other ones. The other ones were a lot closer, and we really whoop these.
How much y'all won by? How much y'all won by?
It was 53-8.
Yeah,
it was 53-8.
It was
32-0.
It was like that all year for them.
Yeah.
Like,
and who y'all played?
We played Alexandria.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. They were the number 2 team in 5A.
They beat Curtis to go to the state championship, huh?
No, Alexandria did.
Alexandria beat Curtis.
Beat Curtis to go to the state championship. So it was a different feeling because at halftime you kind of had that feeling like, oh,
y'all already won.
Yeah, it's 32-8 right now. Go back out there the first drive of the next half and you score again. You're like, okay, all right, it's pretty much we know this by now. So it took like a little bit of the thrill out of when the clock finally hit 0. And, you run onto the field. In our mind, we were doing that already in the second quarter.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But little bit about my background. I come from a 2-parent household. Both parents in the house. But mine was a little different. When Katrina hit, my pops was working with New Orleans public school system. And when Katrina hit, everybody that was at central office got laid off. So he had to find work, and he found work at a couple different colleges. And when we moved back to the city in 2006 after the storm, he got a job at Tuskegee. So from 2007, I want to say 2007 to probably 2017, he was back and forth from Tuskegee to New Orleans.
Yeah.
So during like the fall and spring, he would try and come home at least once a month. But it was my sister, my mother, and I in the house while he was in Tuskegee doing what he had to do for us.
Yeah.
So
how that was for you?
It was different because, growing up, he was always there.
Yeah.
And then now he's away. And when we went to go visit him one time, I remember he was living like in an apartment, probably no bigger than this room. And that really opened my eyes to see like, okay, he's sacrificing a lot for the family right now. Because he was living on a blow-up mattress, one little chair in the apartment, things like that, and a hot plate.
Yeah, straight work.
Yeah, straight work. Professor of a well-known university in Black college, in the Black college world, and he's doing this. He's making this sacrifice for us back home. So that was different for me for sure. But it showed me the definition of sacrifice at a young age. So, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna talk about all that when we get to it. But
yeah, for sure,
that's a part of our jobs as coaches, being at this level. Sacrifice.
Right.
That's a big thing for us because we're not getting paid like they getting paid at Division I.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So sacrifice is big for us.
Introduce yourself.
named Brian Hammond, from born and raised New Orleans, Louisiana. This is my 9th year coaching high school basketball. Second year at John Curtis Christian. Before John Curtis, I was at McMain for 7 years. Helped rebuild that program over there with a group of guys. A little bit about myself. From New Orleans, like I said, played high school ball, St. Aug. Had the opportunity to play college ball at Nicholls State. Was there for 3 years, redshirted. My first year played 2 years. Transferred to D2 school in Texas. Finished out there, graduated. Overseas ball for a couple seasons. They got into coaching.
Yeah.
As far as household, same as O. Both parents in the house, older sibling, older sister, 7 years apart. Super close family, man. Super close family. That's like my best friends. We get along at times, don't get along at times. That's like any other family, you know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of things that just I learned in life, man, just came from just like how close my family is, man.
Yeah.
You know, so big part of me as far as a family guy. You know?
Yeah, of course. We're gonna talk about high school coaches and the effect that they have on their students and people, period.
Right.
So I'll start with Brian.
Okay.
What made you want to be a coach?
Man, just being around the game. I just know my coach told me, kind of threw something at me, man. This was my my senior year in high school. He always said that like point guards end up being like the best basketball coaches as far as you have to know every single thing.
General.
You feel flow general. You got to know what everybody do, and that's really the only position that you kind of have to know what everybody do. And then I just seen by having former like coaches that was former players as well, just seeing that they had like coaching still kept that like that fire in them as a competitor, you know. So that's just something that I always throughout. After I had that conversation with him all the way throughout college, I just knew at some point that I'm gonna be a coach. You know, I just had the opportunity to do it, and just kind of just fell in my lap. I think that was just a gift that I just ran with. You know,
that makes sense. A lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
What about you, Lamar?
I didn't really know when I was in college, so I went to Southern and played football at Southern. I didn't really know when you're in college and you're about to graduate, you kind of like what's the next step? So I actually I redshirted too, and I had another year eligibility, but I ended up messing up my ankle in spring practice of that year, and graduated, and then just decided, well, since I still got this year of eligibility, I hadn't healed completely from the injury, so I just decided to, be a grad assistant. And in that, I started to get that extra or that itch for coaching when I started doing that, because when you can no longer play and you still have that love and passion for the game, the closest thing to being on the field is coaching. So did that in 2013 and in 2014. And then I graduated again with my master's in 2015, and then it was over.
Right.
So now I'm looking for work. I'm looking, to find out what my niche is going to be. I'm 22. And I never, because a lot of times coaches high school coaches specifically work in the school system. So never in a million years, I'm pretty sure B could say this too, did I think I was going to teach.
Man,
never. I never in my life wanted to teach.
Right.
But you want to know the funny part about that? How you say your dad was a teacher? We always find our way of doing the same thing our dad did.
Yeah.
But he a teacher. His dad was a coach and a PE teacher at Bell. And then my grandmother, his mother, was a teacher. She taught at Carver. So it's like then his brother, my uncle, taught in college.
Yeah.
So I never wanted to do that, and I was no, that's not what I want to do.
Right.
But
Teacher,
it just so happened. Shout out to Mr. Green, Lee Green.
for sure.
I graduate from getting my master's in 2015, and my mother was like, "Just apply. I'm about to move home,
Yeah.
so just apply, be an in-house sub at Carr or something like that." So Carr is under Inspire NOLA charter school. So she was like, they got some in-house sub positions, just apply for them. So I applied and didn't really hear nothing. My lease about to be up in Baton Rouge. So I'm literally about to come home.
Mhm.
So I'm asleep, get a phone call. It's Mr. Green on the phone. Omar, you need a job? That's how I went. And yeah, I needed one. So
Yeah.
I took that year, that 2015 year off from coaching because I had just graduated.
Mhm.
So I'm no longer a GA or anything. So I took that year off. And in that year of me taking off, that's when I discovered like, okay, I really miss football. So
Mhm.
I'm a coach. I'm gonna start coaching.
Yeah.
So probably December 2015, one of my old teammates from Cardinal Falls texted me. And he was like, if you're interested in coaching, Carver is looking for a receiver coach. You should think about applying for it. And I didn't even know Carver was open,
Mhm.
like from Katrina.
Right.
So I was like, man, I don't know about that. I'm not too sure about, about that, but I'm gonna think about it. He was like, just look, you never know unless you try. So I know I tried to get at Carr at first when Bryce first became the head coach at Carr in 2015. I went to him and was like, look, I want to coach, let me come coach, be the receiver coach. And he kind of like, now I played at Carr from 05 when we was there before Katrina
Mhm.
to 2009 when we graduated. And Bryce, who's the head coach now, started coaching at Carr in 2006 when I was in 10th grade. So he coached me.
Right.
So I'm going to him off the strength.
Yeah.
Like, man, you coach me.
Yeah. Like you know me.
Yeah, you know me. You
Right.
coach me. Like, what's up? Let me
Right.
come. You the head coach now. Let me come be the. And it was like, no,
Mm.
no, it's not about to happen. You can come volunteer. I already have coaches. You can come volunteer though.
Mm.
And me being me, I'm like, no. I'm tripping. Yeah, no, it's just me.
Right.
So that's when my partner hit me up and was like, look, you could go to Carver and get your feet wet. So that's what ultimately I ended up doing. I took that leap of faith, and shout out to Linares L. Page, and Coach Addison, who was the head coach at Carver at that time, for bringing a kid who was 22, had never really had his own position group before,
Yeah.
had never really coached other than assisting another person, and giving me that opportunity. I was not a Carver guy.
Yeah, we ain't never think about going to Carver.
No, no, I was never a Carver guy. So they took a chance on somebody that was an outsider to them.
Yeah.
Linares Alpay Sr. was a All-American at Carver back in the late 90s. Ended up going to Tulane and being an All-American at Tulane. He was the offensive coordinator. And then Coach Addison, who was the head coach, was a Carver grad from 96 or something like that. So, and a lot of the staff was Carver grads. And they just needed a receiver coach, and they took a chance on somebody they didn't know.
Right.
That wasn't from the neighborhood, that didn't go to Carver or anything like that, and it ended up being a supreme blessing.
Yeah.
Supreme blessing for me.
That's
So
a good thing though.
mhm.
But I know, cause like now I coach my son team.
Okay.
Yeah, so I understand exactly what y'all saying, and just the aspect of still want to be around it.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
'Cause,
being around the game.
Yeah. And then I'm coaching my son. He like doing it, like me coaching him. He like to listen sometimes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the kids, so they been knucklehead.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
What age group?
6, 7, and 8.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the ones right there. That's the ones.
Yeah.
That's the
Be
ones.
like, for 5 minutes you got them, the
Man,
next 2 minutes
you
they
good if you get
one
5
running
minutes
down that
out of
run.
them, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
But do you feel like you're a role model?
Man, that word role model, man. I mean, naturally, yeah, but I like to just use the word of just being the example, man. Like
Yeah.
being like a good example for the kids. I think the word role model is kind of has some type of like perfection at that
Mhm.
word, but yeah, just being an overall example, just trying to give them like small gems to like skip the roadblocks that that I went through as a player or as just a young man in general, what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So just trying to give them those little small things to help them skip those,
help
those
them get a
problems
cheat
and stuff.
code.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Give them the cheat code. But man, these days, man, with these kids, you could give them like, man, it's the blueprint. You could walk outside, make a right, turn a left. This could be a guy with $1 million. They go walk outside and go left,
Mhm.
and then looking at you kind of crazy when they don't have $1 million. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, man. But ultimately, yeah. But I just like to use a different word.
But, I mean, you think
It's the
but like
same
you
thing.
said, yeah, but
Yeah,
that's the same thing we did.
yeah.
We ain't listen to people.
Mm-hmm.
We could have done a whole lot of things way different than what we
A
did.
lot of things, man. Like you said before, with just even with my former coaches, I look at it now like you just said, like, man, like I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the small things or even big things that our coaches used to be like, we don't really understand why you tripping or why you look at it this way. It ain't that big. It ain't that serious. It's like, I get it now. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
it is.
So, it is.
What you add to that?
But piggyback off what B said with the when we was younger,
Mm-hmm.
like when we was in middle school, like at recess,
Yeah.
y'all was the basketball players.
Uh-huh.
Like, so we knew what we were gonna do once we got to high school. We used to talk about it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was the football player at recess.
Yeah.
So we knew exactly what we were gonna do. We didn't know how we were gonna get there.
Right.
If somebody was to tell us, like what B said, make a right, then make a left, and you gonna get to where you supposed to be at,
Mhm.
we was gonna go left.
Just go left, right?
Then
We
try to
just-
see if
yeah.
we can still get there.
Right,
Yeah.
we were gonna go left, but
Yeah.
I feel like now when you talk about the role model thing, do I feel like a role model? Yes and no. I feel like it's more of a father figure role that we play these days
Yeah.
than role model.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, because a lot of kids grow up without.
Yeah.
We are blessed because we had and still have those strong male figures in the house.
Right.
So we could pull up to the house and that strong male figure come outside.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of kids that we're dealing with these days, even in middle school, don't have. So it's more of a father figure role.
What do you think that percentage is exactly?
Oh,
Like
it's a
just
big
all
one.
this
In the city, a lot, man.
Yes.
It's just a big percentage.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
big one. And not saying that, their fathers are past or anything like that. They just not
Just the
involved.
presence,
Not
yeah,
that,
just
yeah.
not involved.
Yeah, they're not involved. So it's not really a role model. It's more of a father figure, a big brother
Mm-hmm.
relationship, because they're looking to you for guidance.
Yeah.
And it's not just about football for me, and I'm pretty sure it's not just about basketball for B, because I've been around B when he's talking to his players, and it's not about ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's the easy part, really.
Yeah.
Right.
The basketball, the easy part. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, because outside it still got life.
yeah, life.
It's life,
Yeah.
and they looking for advice
Mm-hmm.
to deal with this, and that. So that's one thing about Carr that I've been blessed to even be a part of, because even though I had strong males in my life, my father, my grandfather, uncles, and things like that, you spend 90% of your day at the school when you're an athlete,
Right.
because you're going there for school. Then after school, you're going to practice, and you're not leaving that till 7:30, 8 o'clock.
And sometimes you do that before school starts.
Right.
School, right?
So your mentors are those figures that you're seeing all those hours that you at the school.
Right.
So Bryce Brown, Jabbar Jalouk, was my head coach when I was at Carr. And people look at him in the sports world in the city as a legend because of what he was able to do at Carr, and now he's at Florida, the running back coach at Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what he does when he comes back to the city, giving back to the youth with different programs that he's doing. Norman Randall, just a plethora of guys that were role models to me then, and now I'm coaching next to them.
Yeah.
And they still that same role model that we talking about to me then, they are still that now.
Yeah.
So you know, that I think that's a big thing. The role model thing is somebody that you could look up to,
Right.
that you could take advice from, and they'll continue to be that for you throughout your lifespan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's what we're doing as coaches. It's not just okay, the clock hits 0 on your last game.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
be
I'm
cool.
gonna say.
Yeah, be cool. Good luck.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's not like that. It's this is, I tell them all the time, this is a forever thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you need, whenever you need it, my phone does not stop. I'm checking on you. They call and checking on us. So
Mm.
once they know that, they'll run through the wall for you.
That's like when we talk about player coaching.
Mhm.
That's what you gotta be, basically.
Yeah,
Something
players coach.
Yeah. A player
Yeah,
coach.
for sure.
Because I know they got people that don't be like that.
I didn't have a players coach. Like I had coaches around me that was good, like great people, great coaches, but not players coaches that was really like to really go above and beyond to make sure that like I was good. you
Yeah.
know? And I don't know if you know, just by my father being around, that they probably felt like they didn't need, you know, to do that.
Mm.
But as far as just a small thing, like same thing, what would just like just staying later and just like getting extra work in, or just like picking up the phone, making sure they're straight, you know, because I'm sure some of those guys do have father figures in their life, but just to hear it from like their coach,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
it's
saying?
different.
Like it's different, you know what I'm saying? They hit different, you know.
Yeah. So is it tough to balance winning and player development? Because I know that they got a lot of coaches and teams, period, where
Yeah.
you got the best player. So I'm going to
Man,
feed the best player the whole time.
Mhm.
Everybody else just sit
and
back
you
and
just
watch.
gonna win it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say, for me, and it might be controversial, like I don't really care about winning that much.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because usually when you focus on like the player development part, that's gonna naturally come. You know,
Yeah.
so you know, just to use the McMahon situation as the example, like everybody know what McMahon was that McMahon was a stat night when we was in high school. When I played against McMahon in high school, I'm trying to go for 30, people trying to
Yeah.
dunk, trying
But
to
it was cool.
you know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? Seriously. So like when, you know, we had the opportunity to be the coach over there, it was just kind of like, all right, this would be a challenge, you know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
like just like those late nights, early mornings, you really had to embrace that. So we had a group of young kids, like, and we used to get our ass whipped, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But like young kids get old, so they kind of was battle tested at a young age. And then by the time they was out of there, we won a state championship, completely turned the program around. And
Yeah.
I think the main thing that we focused on was development, you know what I'm saying? So it's like by the time you in 8th grade or 9th grade, you playing against 12th graders. But
Mhm.
then when you in 10th, 11th grade and you already playing varsity at that level, it's like those guys who were that's in 10th, 11th grade, they're on the bench.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just think that player development part, I think that kind of not trumps it, but it work hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. People always ask, you know, since I coach at Carr, you know, oh, y'all get the best this, y'all get the best that. The part they forget is the development part.
Mhm.
This is not the pros. This is
They don't just
not
come in.
Yeah, this is not LSU
Right.
where you getting a 5-star recruit
Mhm.
coming in who's
Right.
somewhat polished. We talking about 12, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds coming into your program that, and this is no knock on park ball, but they don't even know what the hash marks are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you're developing, and I'm gonna say this is something that needs to be said. football in the state of Louisiana is taking a dip because of coaching.
Because say
And-
basketball too.
Yeah. Coaching is, you don't have a great pool of coaches in the state in any sport, probably. So there's no developing the player mentally. There's no developing the player athletically. When you talk about the player development, you know, I try and be as humble as possible because I've coached some of the best players in the country. Like, I don't know too many people that have on their resume 2 Under Armour All-Americans. Back to back.
Right.
Some schools don't even have one in the history of their program. They don't have an All-American in their program. I had 2 in my room on the same field at the same time.
Right.
You know, and was able to mold them from 9th grade. Aaron Anderson, I started coaching him when he was in 8th grade. Spring ball, he was able, you're able to practice if you get into the school in 8th grade. So developing him, being able to shape and mold him and things like that since 8th grade. So, that's a big thing. You want to see the difference in a kid from year to year. So the things they doing as a freshman when they in 10th grade, you should not
be doing the same thing.
You should be better.
Yeah, way better.
By the time you hit 11th grade, the things you were doing in 10th grade are unacceptable. And when you're a senior, everything you did those past 3 years is not acceptable.
Right.
If you getting tackled on a slant as a 10th grader, by 11th grade you should be scoring. That's the development part. And you can't teach speed, you can't teach that, but you teach the mentality.
Right.
That's what a lot of people aren't doing. You're not preaching the mentality part.
You gotta train that muscle, man. I think that mental part is a muscle just like anything else.
Yeah.
You know what
It's
I'm
the
saying?
biggest.
And I think that's it with just kids in general in the city. I think that's the biggest lack that they have. You know what I'm saying? Because I think I take pride in just having kids prepared to get to the next level.
Yeah.
Once they go to, regardless of what level they get to, what team they play for, what system they go into, that they will be able to produce.
Yeah.
So if you focus on winning, and then by the time they get to college, it's you can't play because you really don't have the mental capacity or the IQ or your body, not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of it, man.
And I could say that just from paying attention to what I'm doing now, just looking at not worrying about the winning at all, just development, especially younger kids, especially watching old coaches now, people I play against, they really get a ball to the best person's hands and then don't worry about nobody else. And it'd be this the time everybody need to be learning the fundamentals of playing basketball.
But they focused on winning.
Focus on
Right.
winning.
But it's not about what you're doing, it's how you're doing it. That's the biggest thing. How are you winning?
Yeah.
How you scored a touchdown, right? How did you do it though? I'm not focused on you scoring. Congrats. Good job.
Yeah.
But you did this wrong.
Yeah.
You were supposed to do it like this,
Yeah.
and you didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
You deviated from what you was taught. We got to fix that.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Because once you deviate from the things that you're taught, that shows that you're all about self. You're not about the team. So that's a big part of development. Making sure you know the reason why you're doing it, one, and not ultra focused on what you did, but how are you doing it?
Yeah.
That takes you to the next level.
Really being willing to soak in and learn.
Right. Right. And that's how the best become the best.
Yeah, teachable.
Yeah, you coachable. And coming into a program like ours, you either getting with it or you getting
Keep
lost.
Right.
That's what it is.
A lot of kids can't deal with that though.
Mm-hmm. And it's hard. It's hard. You talking about people will be like, man, you talking about high school football?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, high school football is about as big as, I'm not gonna say as big as college, but you that's the next level.
Yeah,
That's the next step.
there's a setup for that.
Look at Texas, look at Florida, look at Georgia, look at the South period in high school football. You go to Texas, you think you passing a college stadium. That's a high school stadium
yeah.
with 25,000 seats in it.
Right.
It's different. The state championship in Texas, they got 55, 60,000 people going to a game. That's life out there.
Right.
In the city of New Orleans, football, high school football is big. On a Friday night, Friday, Thursday, or Saturday, people going to a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's big. High school football is a big thing in the state of Louisiana. Friday nights in Louisiana big. Goes back to what I said earlier about coaching in the state. They got a lot of bad programs in the state, not because the kids are bad.
Mm-hmm.
It start with the coaches building the program, developing.
Yep.
Right.
You develop your program. You just don't become the head coach and like, oh, I got a program. No, you have a team.
Right.
How do you develop your program?
Right.
What's the first step of you developing your program? Is it the weights? Is it the academic part? What is it? How are you gonna do that? You figure that out first, and then you put those steps into place. That's the development piece. That's key to developing a good product.
Right. And everything goes back to life. Just like these sports, everything you're talking about, setting up and being ready to develop, you guys have been playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that's what people fail to realize about sports. People think sports is just sports. Like, nah, sports is a way of life.
Right.
It is. Whatever you learn in sports, usually you go just naturally, like, it's going to translate to your life. Being held accountable, being timely, disciplined.
Right.
All that's a direct relation to life and how you go move as a young man.
Exactly.
You know?
If you started now, as a young man now, by the time you get to our age, that muscle of being able to develop yourself is already strong. So when an obstacle hits, you know how to maneuver it.
Right.
Sports teaches you that.
Right.
If you in a right situation though. Every I'm not gonna say sports teaches you that automatically. You gotta be in the right situation. You could be at a place where you're not learning anything. You're just playing sports.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
You're not being taught how to, get through it, through the obstacle to the other side. And you just going through it, and man, these people sad, this, that, and the third. Like that clip of the little kid who was blaming the coaches from the park ball.
Yeah.
Like it was the coaches. He ain't learning nothing.
Right. Right.
And yeah, his coach is bad because they ain't teaching him nothing, because he would have never did that if he was learning something.
Yeah, and learn the right way.
Learning the right way. So sports is supposed to teach you that, but you got to have the coaches that can do that for you.
Right.
That's the key.
So do you be testing your players out?
Man, yeah. I got away from it for a little while, like the last year or so. But I'm picking back up with it, and I do a little thing with them. I'm gonna play you once a year. I'm not playing you every day after practice or nothing like that. I'm not doing it. Your 9th grade year, I beat you. I'm gonna see you your 10th grade year. Like I'm gonna play your 10th, and I give them all that chance to be able to do that. My record pretty good right now, bro. Pretty good. I leave it at high school. When they get to college, I'm straight.
Yeah, they working hard on that.
Yeah, but nah, man, I think that's another part of just building that trust, and I think that's something that, as far as and myself, to be able to do, just being a younger coach, to kind of get out there and actually show them, that I could still do this, and I did it at a high level. When you rather than having coaches that really you can't really look them up, or really can't see that they was actually decent in that sport.
Yeah.
So
Cause a lot of people just talk.
they just talk. Yeah, you just talk, but it's like, nah, I'm gonna show you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, this how you do it, this what you could do. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big part of just building a program and overall just your players' trust as well.
Right.
I ain't getting on the
They ain't
field.
getting-
I'm
But
not-
they know
I'm
that
not-
you was nice. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but I'm not getting on the field. So, of course, like in drills and stuff, I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, how to do the drill.
I'm gonna show you how to do it.
Yeah.
But I ain't going out there running routes and all
Yeah.
that. I'm not trying to tear my Achilles, no
Right.
ACL, no none of that.
Ain't trying to do that.
I'm not trying to do none of that. But I'm gonna get down in that drill.
Right.
I'm gonna get down in that drill. I'm gonna show you how it's done. But I think that's something that in high school we lacked.
Mhm.
I didn't have a position coach that was doing that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't I
Them
didn't
dudes
have
was
that.
old, they wasn't
Yeah,
trying to do all
I didn't have that. So, and when we talk about the development part, I don't think, because back then we was in the first part of the throwing era.
Yeah.
When we was younger back then, it
Was
was
it
a lot
free
of
running the
running the
ball?
ball and
Yeah.
all that type of stuff. So my class was more of the throwing era. Like Munchie Lego was my quarterback.
Mhm.
Jordan Sullen was one of the receivers with me. Keenan Canty, Larry Moore,
Yeah.
Ricky Joseph. So we were more the beginning of what we do now at Carr. We were like the test dummies for that. So,
Test dummy.
but we didn't have a specific position coach to show us,
Mhm.
what we were doing. And that's no knock to the coach that I had. He just never played football before.
Mhm.
So he didn't know. So when I got to college, I remember my coach in college asking me a specific question when we was watching film, and I didn't know the answer to, the cover. He was like, "What is the middle of the field open or closed?" Shit, I don't know.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
They ain't teach me. I don't know.
Yeah.
So when I got into coaching, that was one thing I wanted to make sure that when my players go to college and they're tested and they know that they know something,
Right.
they not going in it blind. They not going in it, like, man, I didn't learn nothing.
Right.
Like, so no, I ain't getting on the field, playing them one-on. No, I'm not doing that. But I'm getting down, showing them how it should be done instead of them guessing.
But because you did that, though, you was able to, at the college level, you was to realize that there was a lack at the high school level that you could come back and do. And it's similar with me, like by me being at St. Aug, my point guard, Javon Felix, played at Texas, coach at UNO right now. And like, he was the point guard, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just a bucket. Like, I was 2-3 dribbles max, catch and shoot, but then always knowing once I got to college, I was going to have to transfer, go over to being a point guard. For size wise, man, first practice, summer practice, like pick and roll ball screen. I never seen one of those in high school. You got a 6'8" African trapping you, like turning the ball over every single time, So pretty much I had to redshirt just to develop and get better at it, So I think that was one thing for me. But my personal experience of like, I don't want no kid to ever leave like my program and realize that like I'm not really college ready, what I'm saying? Because I think naturally that's kind of a slap in the face to me if it's like I really didn't prepare you to be successful at that level.
Right. So do y'all feel like some of y'all won't be remembered as a coach and as a person?
Yeah, personally, yeah, because I think it's unique. And I don't think a lot of people doing it or really have that approach to it,
Just taking the extra step.
Just taking that extra step to do it. Like, man, me and Coach Biko, the head coach at Curtis, like we up 6:45 in the morning, going, opening the gym, shooting with the kids, picking them up, staying later after off days, we going in the gym. And I just don't think that a lot of people are doing that, And it's like no knock to them. It's like they might not take it as serious as we do, but we have kids from a lot of different schools in the city that's come and work out with our guys, And it's kind of like for me, I could easily be like, man, like you ain't playing for me, or you ain't, why would I work you out and help you get better when we go play against you? But it's like, man, it's bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? Just overall, the culture of New Orleans sports or basketball in general, I just think that you need more people like that to be able to just be a resource for these kids to be able to get to the next level.
And that make things more competitive.
Why not?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why not? So
Put a good product out there.
yeah.
Mhm.
You know, it's sad seeing some of the product that's out there.
Mhm.
Like there's no time, and like I said in the beginning, we not making Division I money.
Yeah.
So you doing this for the love of the game.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Some people end goal is different. Like when I first started coaching, I wanted to coach in college. You know, I wanted to coach in college, so I was like, let me do what I have to do to get to that level.
Mm-hmm.
I've had opportunities, but you know, sometimes your calling is different.
Yeah.
So as I've gotten older, I don't even aspire to do that as much as I did. Now, don't get me wrong, if I got an opportunity that I can't refuse, then
Yeah,
I
you
would
take
take
it.
it.
Right.
But it's not like, it's not something that I'm pressing for,
Yeah.
you know. But I think a lot of people's end goal is to just, I want to hurry up and go coach in college, so I'm going to just start by doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But they not doing it for the love of the game and the love
doing
of
it
the
for the
kid.
job.
Yeah, they missing the point.
Mm-hmm.
So they're never gonna get the opportunity because they have ass in it.
Yeah.
You gotta love what you're doing. You gotta and put in a lot of time. We putting in a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like B talking about going at 6:30 in the morning.
Right.
I'm not getting home during the season till 8:30.
9 o'clock. Right.
Like, so you gotta want to do that, and you can't complain about it.
Yeah.
You gotta
Go back to the
You
sacrifice.
gotta be
you're
cool
talking
with it.
about.
Yeah.
You gotta be cool.
You gotta know that you're making a sacrifice, and it's gonna pay off not just for you, because it's gonna pay off for you in the success that you have as a coach, but ultimately it's gonna pay off for the young man or young woman, whatever you coach,
Mhm.
that you're coaching,
Right.
and that's the end goal. So it's a blessing to be a blessing.
Right.
So, you know, I think that's the biggest thing when we talking about coaching at this level. You got to know that, and you got to be willing to put in time. You got to be willing to sacrifice not making a lot of money coaching on this level, and you going to sacrifice time away from your family, your friends and stuff.
Mhm.
So, you know, you just got to be willing to do it.
Yeah. Okay. So what question y'all got for me? What question you got for me, B?
Man, what made you start doing this? The podcast. It seemed like you was always like a chill
Quiet
guy.
boy.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a quiet,
Mhm.
chill in the cut, you know. So to be on, like, to have a platform like this, like,
Mhm.
you know, what made you kind of start this up?
Just me just going through what I went through in the past 2 years and just feeling like I know somebody else going through this too.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm quiet, but at the same time I pay attention to a lot.
Yeah.
And I really will speak when I have to speak.
You need to.
But other than that, you know, I'm always been observant, always want to hear other people's stories. I know a lot of people go through a lot of things. And like I said, I knew I wasn't the only person going through something. And just like how I asked y'all to come on in and just talk about being the high school coach, like there could be a lot of people that probably gonna watch this and be like, dang, I feel everything that they saying. And it's about touching lives. That's really about it.
You don't have the I know you coaching your son's youth
Mhm.
team and everything right now, but like once he gets to that age of AAU and real ball, is
Mhm.
that the goal for you for him?
Yeah. Yeah. But I ain't saying that I'm a coach, but I mean, the opportunity presents itself, and I could,
Mhm.
especially if I'm able to. I mean, I have a lot of time on my hands, so
Right.
most likely I could.
Let me ask you this though.
Mm.
If this, do you feel like you pushing him to basketball, or like what
No.
if he's like, Dad, this ain't what I want?
'Cause, I mean, I'm gonna try football too.
Mhm.
Cause he want, like, Justin Jefferson. That dude really think he's that.
Mhm.
Like, he didn't have his mama buy a fake chain. He walk around the house gritting all the time. Like, I was like, yeah, we're gonna give football a try too. Like, I'm open to whatever. Like, I don't care if he don't want to play. If he want to play the piano,
you can expose him to
everything. Let you choose what you want to do.
Right. I think that's the biggest thing. I think a lot, and this is another thing, because I've had kids that'll be like, man, I'm just playing because my daddy.
Yeah.
I wish we had that option.
Yeah.
We only taught that. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's how our parents
It
did.
was just football. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. It wasn't no golf. Wasn't no tennis.
No.
I don't golf now, man.
I don't think I was really exposed to.
Yeah, I didn't like it, man. I honestly, like, I played, like, I did. My parents exposed me to a lot, man. Like, I played soccer, basketball, football, ran track, played baseball, everything. And, like, honestly, by just being athletic, I was decent at everything. You know what I'm saying? But I always knew I was best in, well, track. I was pretty good at track, and basketball and football. You know what I'm saying? But then Katrina, pretty much like 7th grade, 8th grade, I realized, like, all right, I'm gonna be a smaller guy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it really hit me, man. Katrina in Atlanta, we really had a weightlifting class.
Yeah.
It was
So,
different.
I remember that.
Different.
I remember that class, and like the warm up, you got freshmen doing 135, and like I never touched the weight before, you know. So I was like, all right, yeah, bro, like I'm gonna just go ahead and.
It was a whole different scene, though.
Man, it was completely different.
High school with and middle school connected. That's how it used to be out there. I know it's still it's just that atmosphere. You know what I'm saying?
It for sure, because I played baseball, and I thought growing up in the city, like, black people play baseball because during the summer you played baseball. You was at the park playing baseball. Like, so when Katrina hit, went to Atlanta. The spring comes, I'm like, I'm gonna try for the baseball team. All my partners at the school was like, you black. What you playing? Like, what you doing playing baseball? You black. I'm like, yeah, we play baseball in the city. In New Orleans, we play baseball. They were like, no, don't do that. So I tried out, and I was one of 2 black people that tried out for the baseball team. They didn't pick not one black person. They didn't pick neither one of us. And I know I wasn't trash, because when I came back to the city, I was all district every year in baseball.
Right.
So I kind of see what they were saying when I was out there, but the culture was different.
Different, man.
They probably them dudes throwing 100
That opened, man. Katrina opened my eyes to, like, all right, there's levels.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's levels to, because even on the basketball side, it was like, man, I played for a guy, like, really had a system. You know what I'm saying? Like it was from, like, JV or 8th grade, freshman, JV, varsity, like, they all ran the same offense. You know what I'm saying? It was all preparation to get, by the time you get to that varsity level, you pretty much already know everything. You know what I'm saying? So that it was but
different. I
different.
knew for me it was different because the size too.
Yeah, the size.
Like the size of the players. Like in Atlanta, I was playing shooting guard. I come back here, I'm center. Like what? I'm 6'2". I'm 6'2", 170.
It also showed you too, like, how behind we were.
Yeah.
The state. You feel me?
Big time.
But that go back to, like, man, I think it's like a lot of adults should be held accountable for, like, being, I guess, quote unquote, behind. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think just with the trajectory of, like, how sports going now at the next level, like, I just think a lot of people just need to be informed on, like, this is what's coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of kids and parents are completely clueless to, like, what's going on with, like, college sports right now. You know, so I just think, you know, in our position, that by us kind of knowing what's going on or researching what's going on as things change, and it's like, we got to be the ones to really just continue to, like, you know, keep them in the know of what's going on. If not, it's gonna be even worse. If we behind now,
and it's changing for sure, because this whole NIL, this whole NIL thing is changing. You got kids that's leaving high school
making $1 million plus. Like what?
They
haven't even touched the college campus yet. And they getting the basic player that's going to a Division 1, that's not the $1 million player, he's still getting $150,000 a year.
Yeah.
But just imagine how much motivation that would give, like 10, 15 years ago, like the players that was coming up, actually seeing that and hearing that.
Yeah.
How different it would have been.
I probably would have worked hard to play.
I think it's also like a gift and a curse though, because like I think a lot of my like grind, like I think it just came from really not seeing what other people was doing. I just kind of had my head down. We didn't have social media. We didn't have highlight tapes. We didn't have all that. You know what I'm saying? I think kids these days are playing just for that, just to be popping on social media. Popular. You know, and I think a lot of the kids emulate like the end goal, but you skipping the whole process on what it take. You don't know what this guy or what this person did to be able to get to the end goal. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big part of it as well.
In high school football, high school sports period has changed so much since 2016, where it was just, I'm trying to get offers. Like I'm doing whatever I can to get an offer so I can post it on Twitter. So I can post the offer. They posting offers that's not even committable.
Right. Right.
They just so bucked up and ready to, you know, be like, oh, I got an offer from here, but you got the offer. Yeah, they offered you, but this one thing I had to explain to kids. When you go to these rooms, where these coaches' rooms, they got a big board, right, with 100 kids' names on them. So they've offered 100 kids. They only taking 2 kids though. So if I'm the receiver coach at LSU, I got a board of 100 receivers that I've offered for the 2025 class. I only got room for 3. And the number 95 kid wants to commit. It ain't happening though. Because they waiting on the other ones.
Right.
So a kid gonna be like, this is my dream school.
Yeah.
And I'm number 95 on the board. He don't know that though. So he like, coach, I want to commit now. Whoa.
Yeah, true.
Oh, wait. That's the coach talking.
He say no, guys. Say no.
Now the coach not gonna tell you that. He gonna be like, you know, just take your time. They gonna butter you up, but the kids don't know this.
Yeah.
Kids don't know that. And then now number 1 says I won't come. Number 10 says I won't come, and number 12 say I won't come. So they done got they 3.
Yeah.
But they ain't tell number 95 yet.
Yeah.
They not gonna tell you. So number 95, like, coach, I won't commit. Sorry, dog, it's not committable.
Yeah. I already got my people already.
They not even gonna tell you that. They just gonna be like, it's not committable.
It's getting younger and younger too. You got 8th graders, 9th graders getting these D1s. Like you cannot call that coach and say, coach, I won't come.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
It's not happening. And this was before NIL.
Right.
So now NIL makes it even worse because they not coming get the high school kid no more. They going in not NIL, the portal, transfer portal has made it worse because they not coming to high school.
Right.
If you're not
a pro.
Yeah, if you're not a 5-star by your 10th grade year, it's not happening.
It's slim.
LSU is not coming.
Super slim.
Does that new that JUCO and all that just
man, you about that? It's making 100% worse. Like, so I ain't want to cut you off.
But I don't even think JUCO matters anymore because you know who was the JUCOs now? Tulane.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's
Southern Grambling. Tulane, all your mid majors, all your FCS schools. If you a baller at those programs, I'm coming get you. I'm coming get him.
Yeah.
He doing what at Jackson State?
Yeah.
Man, go find out and tell him we got $2 million because he ain't getting that at Jackson.
The offers I was seeing people getting these last month or 2, it was nuts.
Yeah.
Like 15 years ago, like schools like that, we wasn't like people weren't trying to like actually commit to that.
Nah, not at all.
It wasn't like D1 or nothing like that.
Not at all. But as far as high school kids is the bottom. We the bottom of the bottom right now. So I say it's the transfer portal as far as mid majors, low majors. Then you still have a wave of prep school. That's post grad. You know, I don't really know. I mean, football, y'all really have like post grad situations like that?
No.
So you have post grad for basketball, then you go junior college, and then high school. Right. So it's like you have people that's 28 years old with a year of college basketball left. You trying to come get a 16-year-old kid? Like, it's a lot, man.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous,
and
right
it's
now.
hurting a high school kid.
Yeah,
because now this is my only way out.
Yep.
And I can't get out because you're not recruiting us anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it harder, and it makes my job. It makes me want to go harder for the kid to make sure that he's able to showcase his talent. So they'll come. Now they're gonna still do their due diligence and come down here and recruit the kid and everything. But it's hard for them to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna take him when they got this kid that's in a transfer portal with this experience already, and we could just get him.
Yeah.
And we don't have to worry about developing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's where college is going now with the portal.
But you have to go where you want it too.
True.
You know, like I think a lot of kids now, where it's like they looking at, oh, I won't go to this high major school, this and that, and like you could get to that level and like you could sit on the bench.
Yeah,
you're not gonna play at all. So it's like I think just having that relationship with like your coach, with really wanting or really feeling like you're wanted to be there, you know, I think that's a big part of it.
And it's our job too to make sure that the kid knows that.
Yeah, you have to.
So I had a kid that was being recruited by a big school, and I would ask him periodically, I'm gonna ask them what they talking about.
Mm-hmm.
What's the recruiter talking about when he calls you? If he's not like heavily interested in the conversation that you two are having, then they don't really want you.
Right.
And if you have to be the one to contact them, because I know it's a whole bunch of rules with the NCAA where the coach can't call you or he can't text you or this, but when they have the opportunity to and they not doing it, they done picked one of them other kids on that board.
Yeah.
So they not showing you that interest that they did a couple weeks ago. They done slacked up. Something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you've committed to them and they not talking about how they gonna use you or what they gonna do, you need to find out why.
Yeah.
So I always tell them keep their options open.
But do y'all think, like, with all this that's going on with the money aspect, do you think they really show exactly who really wants to play and who really don't? Because a lot of kids, they could get that money and be like, all right, I don't want to play no more. Or don't produce like they say they would.
I think that's the thing now in college. It's free agency.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could go here this year and then I just saw this the other day on ESPN. Like the number 2 quarterback in the nation signed with Oregon. They lost in the Rose Bowl. So he signed with Oregon in December. He went up there, he went up there early, practiced like 3 times with the team, traveled with them to the Rose Bowl, and entered the portal on Monday.
And right after
he ain't even go to 3 classes.
Right.
So it's free agency.
Mm-hmm.
I could hit the portal and now I'm to the highest bidder again.
Yeah.
But you gotta have like a name,
right,
to get the real money.
Mm-hmm.
They got like 3,000 kids in the portal right now.
Yeah.
That's hard.
yeah,
Like if you're not one of them guys that's top at your position, even in basketball, probably.
Yeah, that's the same.
You're not getting the money. You might as well get out the portal and go back where you was at.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the money is the big thing. Everybody's chasing money now.
Yeah.
It's not for the love of the game anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I want money, fast money, without going to the pros.
Yeah, you gotta do it. Yeah.
And then like, you don't have to.
Right.
Yeah, they talking about Quentin Ewers, the quarterback at Texas. Should he enter the portal after, this season or go to the league so Arch Manning could play? Like, come on, man. This man is leading. You one game away from a national championship, and you talking about him entering the portal
Right.
so somebody else could play? Whoa. Yeah.
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 And
popular.
Yeah, that's what it is. Your name.
Yeah.
Your name.
And I think people have like the whole NIL thing like misconstrued. Like it's not like NIL is name, image, and likeness. Like everybody is not going to school getting an NIL deal.
Right.
The money that people getting is called collectives, right? And the collective money is just pretty much like, say all of us right now are going to the same. Say all of us at LSU, right? We have boosters that funnel a certain amount of money to the program, and it's just dispersed to whoever. Might be the starting quarterback. He might get more than us, but we all getting paid off of that, and everybody thinking that's an NIL deal, right? And I seen an interview with Deion. He was saying like how many kids you are seeing that's college athletes on commercials, on with different endorsement deals. You don't see too many, but the kids you do see, all those kids with an actual NIL. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that I think the NIL is good. I think that's good because you do have a lot of people that's getting, or universities getting paid for, or getting a lot of money based off of a kid.
Yeah,
but I think that the collective, I think that's where it get tricky at. To where just because I'm a part of a team, like it's an automatic bid. Just for me to come to your school,
even a walk on,
man. I seen, bro, I never forget, man. University of Houston, right? They have a guy that when NIL deals first came on, never played. He was a walk-on for 2 years, right? And he got an NIL deal for like 350 something, like I don't crazy amount of money from the restaurant walk-ons. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like, like I don't have to do nothing.
Right,
and I'm just set. You know what I'm saying? It is kind of like it's wild.
They got a documentary on Amazon. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's called The Money Game or something like that. But it talks about NIL. They followed LSU last year.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
Jaden Daniels, the gymnast, and all that. Andrew Reese Flaugier. That's all the education in NIL you need. Yeah. Because NIL really ain't for the male sports. It's for the female sports. The men are getting most of their money from the collective. The women are capitalizing off NIL. They got makeup. They
the ones doing commercials. They got brand deals. They on TV.
They the brands.
Yep.
Like I'm looking at that. I'm looking at the gymnast. She ain't even doing nothing. Right. She wasn't even starting on the gymnast team.
And then it made it even worse since Paul Skeens went to the MLB and popped off. That's her boyfriend.
Yeah.
So
she wasn't even starting on. They wasn't even putting her in the first rotation on the gymnastic team. Right. And her NIL earnings was like,
she was making like $2 million, something like that. Yeah,
$3 million.
She was making more than Angela Lim at first.
She was making more than Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels didn't get an NIL until after the Florida game. And that was like week 7.
Yeah.
And his deal was $40,000.
That's crazy.
So it's definitely the collective is what's tricky with it.
It's tricky. Yeah.
Because all that money in that collective pot has to be dispersed. But like B said, you're not going to get as much as he getting. But you're going to get something.
Right.
But how much is it going to be?
Right.
So that's going to determine if I'm coming here or if I'm going there.
But like you said, you have to be in that small percentage of kids that really could even negotiate that. Right. Like the problem is you have kids who not that good trying to talk NIL money or collective money, whatever you want to call it. And it's like, that shouldn't even be your focus.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, the first thing they ask for.
Yeah, that's the
Did y'all see the UCLA coach said that last night after the game? He was like, I coach nothing. He's like, y'all are delusional. He was like, everybody just think they the star player. Everybody think they supposed to be taking 15, 20 shots. He's like, how do you coach that at this point? He was like, everybody think they something that they not.
And it's hard to coach it. You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to deal with, and I always seeing it in the NBA where it's like how can I coach a guy that's pretty much like you saving my job? My job is based off of you, and it's the same thing with college now too. It's like how I'm supposed to tell you something when you make more money than me?
Right.
You make more money than me, so it's like who really is like playing the cards at this point, you know? And
I got a question for you. How did y'all like upbringing relate to y'all coaching? Like you could answer.
For me, man, I don't. Man, my family super, and they could tell you, like, my pop super laid back, man. Like, he quiet, don't say too much. Like, he just, you know, and I've been the same way. Like, I don't really talk a lot at all, nothing like that. And I just think as a player, I was the same way. Like I was kind of more of a leader by example. I really I wasn't never really a hoorah, rah-rah guy and nothing like that. And I just took that same approach into high school, into coaching in general, to where it's like, I don't know, man, it's weird because everybody be kind of like, guys that I coach with, they could be yelling and like I could just talk like this. And I just think I just think it's just more of like just me being a person I am. Like I don't think it's really a difference in me and me being me and me coaching. Like I'm like just the same person overall. So
I think it's the same with me. A lot of people shocked and they ask like, they'll ask the players like, how does he coach? Like, does he yell? And I don't think you got to do that to get your point across. Yeah. You could give a look and they understand what you're saying. A whisper in the ear and they understand what you're saying. But I don't have to do that. We got like a book that's written about us. It's called Across the River. And it came out probably 2021. And the author, Kent Babb, took a liking to me because I was different than the rest of the coaches. So everybody else was in your face, this, that, and the third, but he was drawn to me because I wasn't that, but I had command of the team. Right. Everybody respected what I would say when I talked. They listened. So he gravitated to me for that. So I don't think you just need to be yourself. Yeah. Kids know when you fake.
I say they know, they can sniff it.
They know when you fake. If you're authentic and real with them, they respect it. Right. So just be yourself. If you're trying to coach, be yourself. You don't have to change. You don't have to be Nick Saban. You don't have to be Coach K. Right. You don't have to do that. Be whoever you are. And that authenticness will come out and you'll be successful in it. If you're good.
Right. If you're a good coach.
Yeah, if you're a good coach, you'll get it done. I'm a dean. Like, I'm talking to the kids like this. Right. They listening. Like, Being was coaching. We worked in the same school for 7 years. Yep. Like, I know if B get to a certain level, where if the kids get B to a certain level, I know he need to tap out, then I'm going to come in. He know the same with me. Right. There's been plenty of times that's happened where B will text me and be like, man, come to the gym.
Need a break.
And it'd be the same with me. Right. So, but even in that aspect of the teaching world, you got to be authentic because the kids know when you're not real. Mm-hmm. And that's 10 times harder than coaching. Right. Being in the classroom and in the hallway and man, they testing you. Yep. Like, coaching is different. You could do things to a player for them to chill out. Right. These kids in these buildings don't care. They don't care. You can't talk to me like that. You're not my mama. You're not my daddy. This, that, and the third. They gonna push you to that level where you want to be like, man, I will lose my job. But they respect real. Right. They sense fake and they will abuse that. And you'll never get the power back.
Yeah, once it's over, it's over.
It's over.
Yeah, you might as well quit.
Yeah. So if you yourself, you will be successful, I think, in any field that you're in. Yeah. Just anything. Anything. Be yourself. You'll be great at it.
Man. I appreciate y'all for doing this.
Man, I appreciate you having me, man. Appreciate
it. Of course, man.
I love that, man.
Since middle school, bro.
Right. Another episode. Man, open, honest, vulnerable. Tune in next week. And this is the weekly podcast. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tune in next week.